So hello everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we are going to be taking another look at Eisendrache, but looking in Samantha's bedroom, the room where Samantha, Maxis and Richtofen all stayed. A lot of people don't seem to have taken too much notice into it, but anyway, let's take a look. So this was Samantha's room. This was where Samantha was staying whilst her dad, Dr. Maxis, was working at Eisendrache, which we know was a past Group 935 research lab. He also worked here along with Richtofen, who stayed in the room opposite. This was Samantha's room. You can see it is in very bad condition. It looks like these characters, Samantha and Maxis, possibly could have left in a rush. Something at this map, something in this room, terrible happened. Some dark secrets have been held within this room. When Takio enters, he says this.
An evil presence hangs in the rafters of this room. It brings chills to the bones.
There is an evil presence hanging in the rafters of this room. Something happened in Samantha's room, and possibly by taking a look at these posters or pictures that Samantha's drawn, we can get a better idea of what this is. There are other secrets around this room as well, but if we take a look at this first poster, they are quite difficult to make out what they are because they were drawn by Samantha, or that's what it's supposed to represent. But here we go. This is the first one. We have a rocket which looks to be flying up to the moon. Sitting on it is possibly Dempsey, since we know he was strapped to one of the rockets within Eisendrache. It could be someone else. To the right of him looks to be Samantha's teddy bear. In the middle we have a girl with the letter S on. We can assume in the middle with a purple dress that is Samantha, but above her looks to be a flying train or something, I don't know. And then down below her and to the left of her we have 4 different characters. There's no way you can tell who these 4 people are. Possibly they're zombies, but then we have these square looking people below as well. Apothicans maybe, honestly we don't know. But moving on to the next one. Now this one is very interesting. We have in the middle what looks like a door with a circle surrounding it, possibly representing that maybe it's a teleporter or a secret passage to somewhere. And below that we have 2 characters. On the left it says Dad, which would represent Dr. Maxis. On the right there is someone else who looks to be holding up a blue weapon, possibly a sword or a weapon to represent element 115. It looks like that person has a hat on it, maybe similar to the one that Richtofen wears. So maybe that is showing that that is Richtofen. Maybe that's what Samantha wants to show us. But of course it could be anyone else. However, we do have Maxis on there, and we have what looks to be a door which leads to an unknown place. That person on the right could also be Groph, since we know they were working together within this map. Well, not exactly working together, but do have a big part to play. These posters give us information about either this map, Easter eggs within this map, or future Easter eggs. They are very hard to work out since, well, the way they are illustrated, but hopefully you guys can help me out in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on these. What do you think they mean? What is Samantha actually trying to tell us? The next one for me is quite simple. Dr. Groph has secrets, which we know about. Dr. Groph is the person that is in Griffin Station that Richtofen is communicating to within Eisendrache. Dr. Groph still thinks that Richtofen is going along with their original plan, which was to go behind Maxis' back and work on these test subjects. Groph talks about continuing on with Operation Shield, which would have been taking place between Richtofen and Dr. Groph back in 1945, but since we know Richtofen is now trying to change things around, well, he tricked Groph and ended up killing him by blowing up the moon in the final Easter egg. But that really has nothing to do with it. It says Dr. Groph has secrets. The obvious thing is the secrets could be what he has been doing on Griffin Station, which is constructing it, and also the fact that he was going to send Dempsey up to the moon, which was possibly for him to experiment on him, brainwash him, do something to him, so he could then send his body back down to the Earth, over to Cerise, where Richtofen could use him as his 4th test subject. We know that was the original plan, so that could be what Samantha is meaning. That could be Groph's secret. But I think it's a lot more than that. I think maybe there's something that we don't know about Groph that Samantha does. You can also see what looks to be a fireplace maybe, or another portal, a door. I don't know what that is in the middle. That looks to be shading around the area, so possibly that is a fireplace, but in the middle it says secrets with question marks. The next one is quite simple. Daddy says there used to be a dragon a long time ago. Obviously relating to our iron dragon heads within Eisendrache, something that was made possible using element 115 by Group 935. And then this one is very hard to make out. It looks like in the background there is a forest. Possibly this is the forest that we see Nikolai in within the Nikolai's Memories teaser trailer. Maybe this is the forest that we see our characters in every time they die within zombies. This is probably the forest that simulates life after death that we've been getting so many hints towards within zombies so far, but we haven't really seen any references to it within the game. But who is this character with in this forest? It looks like a girl, so possibly could be Samantha, but why would Samantha be there if we know she isn't dead? This forest within zombies is a place for our dead characters to go to, hence why why we die at the end of every zombies game. We see our characters in the main loading screen in this forest because it is showing that they are dead. As far as we know, Samantha isn't dead. So again, that's another interesting one. So then if we move over to the wardrobe, why the goddamn hell is Samantha so shitty at drawing? For God's sake, my nan could draw better than this. But anyway, here we go. We have what looks to be a sun. I honestly, oh my god! So we have what looks to be some mountains. We have some pretty butterflies there. We have some grass in the background. There is a house with some animals. My question is, why is the sun got eyes? Is this Teletubbies? I don't know. It's difficult to make out what this one is. We can see on the next one, Samantha definitely improved because, well, it's her and Fluffy. Fluffy is the Hellhounds, which we know we have returning to Der Eisendrache. And the final one for me is the most interesting and the best. We have an Apothicon that has come out of the rift, a teleporter, and it seems to be looking over Samantha. Samantha is in bed. She has put me with a smiley face. Her face actually looks shocked, or I guess you could say scared. So this is interesting. The Apothicans have returned to Der Eisendrache. We know they want their summoning key back off Richthofen, but why is this Apothicon hovering over Samantha? Now, I've actually done a very, very interesting video on this before. I definitely recommend you check it out. If you haven't, I will link it down in the description. But a quick overview of what I think might be happening here. The Apothicans are after Samantha. Not only Samantha, but Eddie as well. We know Maxis has lost these two children, his daughter Samantha and Eddie. Eddie is a friend of Samantha that was introduced by Maxis. We know this from a cipher that we can find within Der Eisendrache. But from this poster we can see it looks like the Apothicans are after Samantha. But why is this? Now, like I said, I've done a better breakdown on this already, so you should definitely check it out. From the giant radios, Maxis has lost Samantha. He can't find her. He doesn't know where she is. Within one of the multiplayer maps, we can actually see Maxis and Samantha's house floating on a rock in the middle of nowhere. If we go back to the Origins cutscene, right at the end, Samantha says, "Don't worry, my dad says he has a plan." These characters, in my opinion, and again, you won't fully understand it until you've seen my other video, have a very strong imagination. And in fact, I think it is that strong that whatever they imagine, whatever games they play, actually come into reality. So things they do in their heads, in their game, start to happen in their actual real world. Now, I'm not saying this whole zombie storyline is made up by these two kids. That was the original theory when this cutscene first came out, but since Black Ops 3 has released, we know that's not exactly the case. In fact, these two characters do exist within our game and Maxis has lost them. But I think what is happening is very similar, and these characters, like I said, have a very strong imagination, and what they think and what games they play actually comes to life within the game. Because they hold that power, the Apothicans need them, because we know the Apothicans want to return to Earth. The Apothicans, from what I know, used to own Earth itself. They have been around for a long, long time. We actually know we released them, and since then they have been trying to get the summoning key, which will allow them to open up a gateway, which will then allow all of the Apothicans to return back down to Earth and take the universes for themselves. That is their ultimate goal. We know they are still trying to do that. They are still trying to get the summoning key off Richthofen, hence why we can see them back into Eisendrache, because they need the summoning key to return, but they could also use Samantha to return as well. If we go back to the quote from Takio that we had at the start, he says,
"An evil presence hangs in the rafters of this room. It brings chills to the bones."
There has been a dark presence in this room. Possibly, this is the room where the Apothicans came for Samantha, but this isn't the first time that Samantha has seen the Apothicans. They have tried to come after her many times before, and every time the Apothicans find the location of where Samantha is, Maxis teleports them to a different location. This is why we see the house floating in the middle of a rock within the Infection multiplayer map, because Maxis has put that house in its own bubble and teleported it to a different place, so the Apothicans don't know where they are and can't take Samantha. Although this time, just like Maxis states in the Giant, he has lost the children, he doesn't know where they are, and he needs to find them quickly before the Apothicans rediscover Samantha's new location and take her, because that time Maxis won't be there to teleport them away again or protect them. Again, if you take a look around the room, you can see it is trashed. It looks like Samantha and Maxis have left in a rush, possibly because the Apothicans were here or something else happened. But anyway, there are the pictures that Samantha has drawn. She gives us quite a bit of information. There are so many more Easter eggs I'm going to cover, so if you have enjoyed the video and if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop a like rating if you have enjoyed. Let's go for the goal of 2,000 like ratings. I think we can hit that. That is the first time I've asked for such a big goal. Let me know your thoughts on what you think these posters mean in the comment section below, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.